A warm good evening to one and all. We take great pleasure in welcoming you to yet another live chat session presented by the Madras Canine Club. And today I will be your host, Jai Simha. Today the topic for the day is Alsatian, the wolf dog, aka the German Shepherd dog. Today we have with us Mr. Sanjit Mohanty, who found his true calling, the univocal passion for the German Shepherd dog, very early in his life in 1982. Mr. Sanjit Mohanty is a member of SV, Germany, and OG Dimmingen, President of the German Shepherd Dog Confederation, GSDC India, life member and presently Executive Committee Member of the Kennel Club of India, and is an all breeds international judge. He is the first and only Indian, as on date, in a 114-year GSD breed history to get the WUSV National Judging License from the World Union of German Shepherd Dog Club, WUSV, and has been approved as an international breed judge by the SV Germany. Apart from German Shepherds, Mr. Sanjit Mohanty has bred champions in Doberman Pinschers, Boxers, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, Siberian Huskies, Standard Smooth Dachshund, Pugs, Beagles, and Miniature Pinschers under his kennel prefix Cassandras. A very warm welcome, Mr. Sanjit. Thanks for joining us for today's show.
Yes, very good evening, Joy. It's a pleasure talking to you, and this is a good initiative from Madras Kennel Club. And I've been also listening to a lot of judges, their interviews you have taken. It's wonderful. Before we start, I would like to pay my tribute to Galwan martyrs who have sacrificed their life for our country, and I also pay my sincere condolences to their families. Next is another senior member of our fraternity, Mr. Matthew C. John, who has recently succumbed to COVID, I hear, and my sincere condolences to his family, because he was part of the Madras Canine Club and also part of the Kennel Club of India, and is such a senior person, very well behaved gentleman. So now, good evening, and we can start.
Thank you, sir. And we stand with you on the matters of Galwan as well as Dr. Matthew C. John. As you rightly said, we truly missed them. So we'll get started, as you rightly said. So can you give us a brief history on the German Shepherd breed, sir?
See, it is a long history. I was not born, but what I have heard, see, it is from the year. See, you can see in Germany in 1800, around 1885, 90, this Cavalier captain, Mr. Max von Stephanes, he used to travel for his job all around. And that time, that period of time, a lot of German, people, they used to have, farming. They used to have their sheep folks and other things. So they used to have herding dogs. So when he traveled around Germany that time because of his work, he saw many varieties of this kind of dogs which are doing wonderful work. Some are working and herding the sheep. Some are doing little guarding work. So he decided, why not have a national dog, herding dog. Okay. So these are the photographs in the slides. So these are the ancestors of the type of shepherds were that part of time in Germany. So basically, the first and the third, the Thuringen type and Rothenburg type, those types he felt they are good looking and they have the character and capability of doing very hard work. Mixing all those types, he started breeding. In 1899, he started the club SV. Before that, there was another society, Flex Society, which was conducting shows for the herding dogs. It's like an agriculture society, not a dog show. Because first dog show started from England in 1960s. After that, Germany started. So then what happened is, so he started this year. So first dog he got, his name was Hector. He was first breed type. He changed his name to Horand van Grafak. So ultimately he was the first SV registered dog as German Shepherd. So on that basis, the German Shepherd Club SV started. This is the history. And rest is, you can find at nowadays internet, everything, information board where everything is available. But this is the basic history.
Thank you, sir. So basically a herding dog, which also had to have all the qualities of a good working dog. So thanks to John Max.
Absolutely, okay. Absolutely. It can be a companion dog, it can be a herding dog, it can be a protection dog. Basically, with the command of the owner, it can do certain obedience work, certain guarding work, be nice to the family, be protective, be intelligent, all the time alert and agile.
A
Yeah,
total multifaceted dog, as you rightly said. Wonderful, sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
what is your memory of German Shepherds in India? Who developed the breed in India, and why did you choose this breed in India?
You will be surprised. It started in 1910. The first German Shepherd to India came in 1910.
Wonderful. That is news
Yes,
to us. I was not aware.
and 1910 it came to India, and it will be you will be surprised that was in British rule. In 1960, we had a show in Calcutta,
Okay.
and that was by the German authority, Herr Heinz Roper. He judged the show. So
Okay.
it's a big history. I have already written the article, big article. It is in the net also. The history and popularity of German Shepherd in India. But by brief, I'll explain to you a little bit. So from 60s, they had shows. They had German imports. Before that, English imports are there. Some Australians were staying here in India. They used to manage the German Shepherd affairs, and they had a German Shepherd club also, which became
Okay.
different. So people from Bengal were much more involved. There the dog show scene was much more active in Bengal, basically in Calcutta. And then a lot of people. I'll take some names from earlier times. From RP Mitra to MJ Krishna Mohan. So a lot of people from they were involved. But till I remember. So when I saw the German Shepherd, to be honest, I saw this German Shepherd called Sivas Jambo. It was owned by Mr. Sudarshan and bred by SP
Okay.
Misra, right?
Okay.
So first dog I saw. Then I saw Kora, was owned by Nagindran.
Okay.
So that was my memories. Then I used to see dogs, and then I had seen earlier some American dogs, Avalon's hot shot bloodline, Pride One Cypress, and all that. Some Mr. Puri he had imported in Delhi, right? So that
Okay.
was my memories, and certain dogs from Calcutta, the old type.
Okay. Okay.
But my memory got recreated, like I had some dogs and all that. So my past dog, to be honest, my I had a small puppy from Matthew Season. That was a basset hound, Sinbob Cinderella.
Okay.
So because it was very expensive, I was very young, I was 8 9 years old that time. Also the German Shepherd was quite expensive. And I went to my cousin brother's house, Mr. Prusti's house,
Hmm.
and they were very affluent, and they had a American import, typical
Okay.
American import, and total black German Shepherd. So I
Okay.
was very much fascinated. So Mr. Prusti, as usual, mercurial character, I asked him, "Can I get a puppy?" He said, "He's too small to have it. Let you grow up. What do you know about German Shepherds?" So I was a little frightened. But that was the first time I saw a dog which is very good looking. Then when I was around till ninth or 10th standard, my father presented me a puppy, and that
Okay.
puppy was from Hyderabad, and the breeder was Captain Popula Asap.
Okay.
And remember the name. The which name was Stanfield's Quest. It was a nice female, short coat female. I got that. After that, I got one male. I never knew what is short coat, a normal coat, what is long coat. From Bangalore, from Mr. Smith. The dog's name was Wander van Sittenberg. So
Okay.
from there I started. But so something I happened. I took because there was no that time clubs in Bhubaneswar. So I used to go to see dogs shows in Calcutta or Chennai. So then I used to meet people, you know. Then I saw Mr. Nawab Nazir Jung judging the show. That time it was, craze. People were shouting, standing aside when he was judging the shepherds. He had a, unique style of judging. He'll take the dogs out of the ring, then make them run. I never understand what he's doing, but I understood something is happening. People are very happy. People are enjoying the game. And
They're
dogs
getting
are running
excited.
like crazy, walking like crazy, and no other breed was doing that. So I got fascinated. So then you need money to buy dogs and all that. But I still used to go. Then I went to Madras. I used to have some mediocre dogs. I saw that time, first time, Cora was that time already owned, dog of the year. He was being shown. And that time, there was a Cocker Spaniel, La Franja Black Onyx, he was being shown. Cora was being shown. First time I saw some German dogs, a person called Mr. Dr. A. Venkateshan, was showing two bitches, young bitches. One is Donna Bun Sticken Bun, another was Tasivanta Kalahidi. So I was also standing there. So one thing was already finished for our own. This beach was that time best opposite sex, I think, was there viewers. So
Yes.
he came out and he was instructing his handler, to do what in the next ring. I saw Mr. Krishnamurthy, Mr. Rangarajan standing, And Mr. Krishnamurthy was telling Mr. Rangarajan, this is the English German import. You see, it's a different type. That time, first time I saw this, they look different.
Okay.
So then the next thing under Harry Spira, Tussie won the best of breed against
Okay.
Cora. So that is where I started. The rest is history. Then I keep on getting dogs, and then I got something from Mr. Venkateshan. He was very instrumental in bringing me to this field only.
Okay.
And then my time, there were a lot of people like Y. William, Mr. Bharat Kumar, Bharat Bhushan Berry from Calcutta, Mr. Chanchal Sarkar, Mr. Pradeep Ghosh, then Mr. T.P. Roy, from Hyderabad, Mirza Saab, S.P. Misraji, Nawab Saab, Captain Kupla Ashok, and from South. Then ultimately I just came to know so very nice people like Mr. Ramaswamy. Now he's retired from Coimbatore. So a lot of people I met, they were breeding that time, quite interested in dogs. And this started. And if you talk about India, there are many people, very talented people right now. The youngsters are more interested. Before that, you can understand, Jai, if I have to write a letter to Germany, it will take 1 month to get the written, anything.
All snail mail.
Yes, a small book you come, it will take so much of time. You will feel like some big gift has come, 2 photographs with a letter. And in the touch of a button, you can just, see all over the world what is happening, what is the breed type, and what things. But a lot of people have contributed definitely positively, and I will definitely tell you, the standard is very good, not bad. We have very good dogs. And it is due to the breeders, due to breeders and all that, and youngsters are doing very well. And first time I can see there are mixed bloodlines. But definitely Mr. Venkateshan brought German dogs, introduced, which created an interest among the public. And the import of German dogs and interest in German Shepherd started. And Mrs. Regular, she is no more, and she was the founding, factor in building a German Shepherd club. She was also very much passionate about the breed.
True.
So these people have contributed, including Nawab and all that. They have contributed immensely, and a lot of youngsters. If this is a very small time, I cannot take names. From each part of the country, they have contributed positively, and now also they are doing it. My congratulations and best wishes to them.
Thank you. Thanks for giving us an insight into the exciting history or fascinating history of German Shepherd.
You can tell your viewers there is a very extensive research, and I have done, and I have given an article. It's 4-5 pages. How many shows, what clubs are there, what dogs had been imported, and what's at the time while Prince of Patiala had imported Siger and Sigrin to India.
We will do that
because that time the Indian currency was more powerful than German currency. We could have easily bought any dog we wanted. You understand? Now you know the euro value, right?
No, we will get that article printed and published in our Madras Canadian Club's page so that everyone will benefit.
It has already been published in IKG and other magazines also.
We will do that.
You can also publish. It's a very good magazine because it is a history of our country. Like you can see, very few people know in 1910 the first import came to our country.
Correct.
And 1960 we have German specialty show judged by the German expert Heinz Roper, SP top judge.
Those are all prestigious things.
So it is not that German Shepherd Club started in the 80s or we had. So next is you are asking about German Shepherd Alsatian came from. Yeah. Basically it is not Alsatian, it is German Shepherd dog. Say in World War I, so both sides, England and Germany, they are using German Shepherds for cable carrying dogs and carrier dogs, everything, for medicine, for Red Cross. So these dogs are working so well. And these dogs are loved by the English people also, because as you know, when the war happens, everything people start hate. They become enemy. So the German Shepherd dog got the brunt of that. So then the English decided we'll not call it German Shepherd, we'll call it Alsatian. So they said, because there is a place called Alsace-Lorraine. It's near. It is in Germany, but actually French, gifted them in the after 1800 some war. So it's called Alsace-Lorraine. So from these regions, some dogs, they used to come. So they say this is from Alsatian, the old dog from Alsace mountain, But actually, after the World War II, So then it was decided, so no more the Alsatian word being used. It's decided it's German Shepherd dog.
German Shepherd.
Yes.
So there's an additional question on this, sir. They were saying we
Little
see that
bit louder there.
German Shepherds are used more for police and guard dogs. How about
Ah.
them being a house pet?
See, basically you have to understand when Maxman Stepney's created, I will say not bred this breed, not created. So what he did is he wanted a dog which is also sociable, which is intelligent, which is disciplined also, can do obedience, can do tracking, can do protection, right? So for doing all this work, a dog should have a balanced mind.
True.
Dog must have a very balanced mind, not anything exaggerated. So
Very true.
when a dog is balanced and intelligent, so it will adapt to the situation. So if it is required, it will protect its owner. If it is required, it will be very nice to the small children in the house
True.
and be caring for the old people. So you understand. So the dog is a multi-purpose dog. So
Perfect.
it can protect with the owner's command. At the same time, it can be nice and aloof. We call aloof. Shows no nervousness, no aggression, without any provocation. So it's a balanced dog with a very
balanced
intelligent
and
mind.
composed dog.
A very intelligent mind. So that's why it can work.
Super, sir. Then we'll go to the next question. So what is SV, sir?
SV is called Shepherd Warren. That means German Shepherd Club. That is, after this 1899, Max von Stepney's created this organization to register and keep the documents. So this is the main body which is on the BDH and affiliated to FCI. And also has a you can say another concern called WSV World Union,
Okay.
to have cooperation around the world. So SP, what SP does is keeps maintains the stud book, laid down the breed standard, and creates an atmosphere where the basic necessities like health programs like hips, elbows, DNA, and what are the training programs for breeding and the systems regulations that SP maintains. And it takes care of the German Shepherd welfare around the world.
So as to ensure that there is uniformity of what is being done around the world.
It is the main body which regulates, takes care, registers, maintains the stud book and history, and also regulates the breeding program. And if there is anything wrong or anything has to be done, SP advises and takes care.
So they define a code of ethics in terms of how German Shepherds
Code
are
of
to be
ethics. It is a regulatory board with advising and also maintaining the breed in a proper way.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Okay, sir. We'll go to the next question. So, what is your interpretation of the breed standard, and what are the key features of the German Shepherd dog? Are there any differences between the SV standard, the FCA standards, and the American Kennel Club standard?
See, my thing is you have a German Shepherd. I explained to you, it's an intelligent breed, medium sized, strong and firm, very good expression and firm muscles, nowhere exaggeration, intelligent and noble. At the same time, is ready to work for the do the obedience, protect its owner, can socialize with the family. So it can be a utilitarian dog, it can be a working dog, it can be a herding dog, so multi-purpose dog. And for that, my idea is a dog, you can see, a dog which has been evolved because why it is popular? Because so many dogs are there, working dogs are there, stronger protection dogs are there. Somebody does protection, somebody is too agile. But this dog has brains with beauty, and also the best thing is it has economy gait, like we call it. It uses less energy to produce maximum results.
Okay.
So that is why I for my idea is a dog which is good. I will say good looking, dry, firm, medium size, very good expression, and always ready for the sport. Good for the family, good for working, good for the police. So that is my idea of a German Shepherd. The rest is laid down by the SV standard. We are not talking about a standard, we are talking about for a general term. What a German Shepherd should be. And this is it for me. And you can see the standard proportions that I see. The dog has to be, medium size, and the forelegs to be 55%, and the chest proportion should be 45%. The front angle should be well angled, so it can have a good front reach. Around 90 to 110 degree front angle. The croup is 23 degrees to the horizontal, and it's this is a proportion. You see, you have a proportion, no exaggeration. So this is a proportion. This is the kind of dog we say, and you see, I have seen this is a nice dog, a Ramo Slack. I have taken the photograph. You see, this dog, represents the correct breed type. This all photographs most of them are taken by me. So I have a keen observer of their anatomy, not as a photographer. I take photographs for myself to feel, because sometimes memories are short. I go to Seagull shows from 96. I'm going, So it's a long back. I have around more than 1 lakh photographs over the time. So it's for me. Sometimes I go back, revisit them, think what is happening, what I can take from that.
Very true, sir. To really what you have seen. Otherwise, as you said, the memory is short. We forget.
And actually, yes, this separate difference. And you see, this is the hindquarter. Most probably, when I talk hindquarters, you see, this is the exact hindquarter. If you draw a horizontal line from the griddle, see what is the difference between the hocks. So now, a lot of dogs are a little bit over-angulated. See, it's a working dog. It should be able to jump from the standing or sleeping, and it should be able to work for a longer time. When your leverages are long, your knees become low. Your bones become longer. Your knees become low. And these things, so many experts have explained. You see that Mr. Louis Donald has very, selectively, carefully has explained what is the curvature of the lumbar spine. This has happened over the years in some dogs. And when it happens, it definitely is not helpful for the breed. And same thing when you have over-angulation in the behinds or hinds, what happens is the dog gets tired because all the time the pressure is on the hocks. So when the length of the hock and length of the second thigh or upper thigh are longer, the knee goes lower, and then the tendons and ligaments are also longer. So it is pressure on them. So the dog wears out, and you have seen many dogs, they walk or move on the hocks. So just imagine, we are having a show on the grass, it's all right, the dog is standing or moving very fast. But suppose the dog is moving on gravels. Suppose tell me dog is working in your yard, and some intruder came and is running away, the dog has to catch him. And after your yard, there are gravels, stones, gravels. These dogs with these long hocks, they cannot run, they will injure themselves, you understand?
Correct.
So that is why for working ability, this kind of over-angulation is not required. But because of some Eastern European influence, every time you say, we say you have to be very careful about the breed, you have to think about the breed. But every time there is a commercial aspect, you have to agree that.
True.
Breeders, you see, world over, only the top breeders, their dogs, not only German Shepherd breed, any breed, Cocker Spaniel, Doberman. So the top breeders, they have the system, so their dogs only come up because they know how to breed, they have people to help them. The common people doesn't, sometimes maybe. So that is what has happened when there is a demand from a particular country, you understand? So I am not taking an Eastern Asian country. So yeah, you see, this is a picture given by one of my guide and mentors, Mr. Reinhard Meyer. You see, when these hawks are like this pastern is like this, and then the hawks behind legs doesn't have any balance. When they don't have any balance, they can't do the working what they're bred for. They'll get tired. Only you stand them, you can see them getting. They might have a very nice side gait, but you have to understand our dog is not single dimension. It is 3 dimension. I always say it is 4th dimension. 4th dimension is what you feel standing in front of the dog. That is 4th dimension. So seeing at that one dimension, we get happy. 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. So what happens is, we see the dog for a few minutes in the ring, and people are happy, clapping, the dog is moving. But it is not important. Important is the firmness and economy. Sometimes with the longer hocks, the side gate looks nice, but it is an illusion. Because after you can make him run for 2 rounds, make the dog walk for 40 minutes, you'll understand. The dog will not work. It will sleep.
He'll lose his economy.
So because of this, I told you, because of this Eastern European influence, The dogs have become bigger because they wanted a dark color, and they have loose lips. A lot of dogs, they have a ram nose. Stephanie's used to say hook nose. Hook nose means not parallel planes. A lot of dogs have head like a beard, round shape, and bigger ears. Once the head becomes round, the stop becomes too much. The eyes will become round. It will never have that almond shape. So this has happened, and a lot of dogs you must be seeing in the internet. The corner of the mouth is open. It's a bit tight. The flu should not be open. It is open.
Correct.
So, and then if these dogs are sold for a higher price, a German breeder who is breeding also, maybe a judge, maybe a breeder, he is also thinking, I'll have 5 puppies. I'm not talking about your commercial aspect, how much I'll get, even though he understands the standard, everything. But this, if he, after 1 year he sells, he gets 20 times. So that has definitely taken a toll on our breeds to a certain extent. But still, there are breeders, there are dogs, they are absolutely true to the standard. Absolutely correct dogs. They can work, and they are not exaggerated.
Wonderful, sir. So how is the FCI or the SP standards in comparison to AKC?
FCI and FC standard is the same, because FCI says the country of origin, FCI takes. The country of origin is Germany. So FCI and FC standard is the same. The AKC standard says the same. Try to understand. But as you know, all breeds, like your Cocker Spaniel, has it taken a toll, like it becomes American Cocker Spaniel, but it went from Cocker Spaniel. So here, same thing with the Dobermans. We say Dobermans, it went from Germany, but American breeders, maybe for better, maybe for worse. I am not judging anybody. I am saying it has taken a change. The type is Doberman, the style is American style. It's not American type, it's American style. So same thing happened. All the parent stock went from Germany. Went from Germany. But over the years, most probably, it is my guess, I'm not so clear, the American breeders more are ladies, more are ladies. So they like little elegant dogs, bigger dogs. They don't make them move so much. And over the years, they kept changing. And the most important thing is they do not have a working title. They have a herding title. They have herding title and agility. They don't have working title. And if you see the difference between the American dogs, they are longer. The torso is longer. Their hocks are longer. They are higher station. There is a difference between the high wither and higher station. They are higher station. Their shoulder blade is forward placed. Neck is swan neck, V neck. And sometimes the males and females, they look same head. You understand? Both are similar type. There is less differentiation between the sexes. And you see the long pasterns. But whereas the European dogs, they have changed a little bit, but still they have to go through the breed survey. They have to go through the protection work. They have to go through the obedience work. Obedience is 3 parts, as you know: tracking, obedience, and man work. So they have to go through that. Then only they can be breed surveyed, and once they prove their breed worthiness, then they are bred. So there's a big difference you have to understand. And sometimes say in American dogs, they are very good to protection dogs. No, they might be nervous. That is why they show aggression.
The tempo might get soft, as you rightly said.
But from the photographs, what I arranged the photographs, Siddharth is doing. Thanks, Siddharth. See, you can see it's a visual is a big effect. I can explain, but once you see the visuals, it is very easier to understand.
Very true. We're able to relate, as you rightly said.
Tell me.
Fine, sir. We'll go to the next question.
Yeah.
I think we have a viewer question.
Yeah, I told you what is the difference. There is no difference between SP and standard.
Okay, so we have a viewer question, sir. There is one Mr. Radhakrishnan Swaminathan who has asked this question. The evolution of top lanes in German Shepherd is a hotly contested topic. What is your take on this? How is it improved?
I will go this way. Very, very, very non-political way. In every breed, there is an extreme, there is a correctness. Sometimes in every period, when there was in 80s, in 70s also, people used to say the 70s dogs were good. In 80s, they used to say 70s dogs were good. In 90s, they said 80s dogs were good. And now, but if there is a problem, we should address it. But I'll explain to you. Even Dr. Funk was the president, she used to like dogs with more compact, more not lengthier, more compact dogs with very straight up line, strong bones, and very less angulation in the hind, but with much more working capability. And that is why that point of time, the working dogs and show dogs were same. You understand, same. Yeah. But after that, Mr. Rommel came, Dr. Rommel. He was also good. but he liked a little elegant types. In a breed, when the breed is evolved, not I will not say evolve, the word evolve, it's not correct word, is with the time. So it gets popular, people wants to show, and all the people cannot go for the work. So they like sometimes. So and sometimes the breed take a different direction because the helm of the affair and the people involved in it and people who are looking after it. Then come Dr. Rommel, he was also a good man. So he liked little elegant dogs, little bit, not too flat top line, little bit.
Okay.
Right. So then I will say the dogs were very nice. Here I will say I had seen dogs from till 95. So they just reached the peak, everything. They had very good colors, very good bones, very good expressions, excellent movement. If I talk you about this time, the older dogs, I don't see any dog which is moving like Fedra Aminus or Mark Housebeck. Those dogs were really super moving dogs. Till now, the new dogs cannot move like that. So they were good movers, a good time. Every phase, you can say every decade has their own pluses and minuses.
Right,
so what happened, I explained to you earlier. Still now, if you see Remo Slack, you saw the anatomy. We have dogs like Remo Slack, we have dogs like Muri Osterbagaland. The normal dogs we have. It's not a that. But because of this Eastern Asian influence and their demand, so certain breeders, and every community, there are also people who like to be different. You know that. You are a cocker spaniel breeder. Somebody likes a bit bigger muzzle. Somebody likes little wedge and dry muzzles. Somebody likes a longer neck. Somebody likes more compact body. Somebody wants that classical little low set croup with the tail. Somebody wants little flat sloping. So it happens everywhere, every breed. In Doberman also, in Boxer also. So in certain, and you know that the breeders are more influential. They change. See, each breeder has their own preference. Some breeder they want to breed very good head. Some breeder they want very good bones, and some they want side gait. Some wants very good characters. It happens. They're all humans. They're driven by their emotions. But basic thing is we have to get always near to the standard. Within the standard we have to have that interpretation. So definitely what he's saying is some dogs, the curvature of the lumbar spine has happened, which Mr. Radhakrishnan, I know he must be going through the articles. Mr. Louis Donald has very explicitly explained it. And I don't have to waste time here. It has happened. But at the same time, it has happened. And another things I'll tell you, the length of the hocks have increased, second thigh, because knees have become little lower. The basic exact confirmation is, the upper arm, the shoulder blade, when they meet, you call point of chest. If you draw a line, it should reach that hip joint, pelvic bone. So it should be same line. But when the upper thigh is long and lower thigh is long, they create a bigger angle. That is, the bent of style goes low. When it goes low, so it goes low, at the same time curvature of the spine. So there is an unnatural load. The dog looks like a frog. But to my surprise, a lot of dogs you must have seen in the internet, they feel happy. They suppose some dogs I have seen some dogs are really good in my photographs. I've seen them from close by in the cigar shows. But I don't know the owners because I cannot talk for them. They have photoshopped it and make it a different type, and they're feeling happy that it looks nice. Congratulations to them. This is a good dog. I saw this. You see, this is correct. This is Remo is a very nice correct type, and many more correct type dogs I've given. Siddharth will show. Moderate angulation dogs also. Siddharth can put the moderate angulation dogs, moderately angulated dogs to I have put also. So this is a moderate angulation dog. This is a correct top line. You see this. See, there is no exaggeration from the whether it is coming. Whether is the highest point. Croup is slightly sloping. You see the hocks plump on the ground. The inside leg is not too much, not too deep. The lips are not open. If you see the occiput, the standard says it is not flat, but it is not round also. It is in between, medium distinct tip stop, and very dry head. And this is the type. I'm not saying this is the best dog, but this is the style of dog or the type of dog we should aim. This can work. This kind of dogs are there. This I have taken from the progeny class from the Cigar Show. This is also there. If that is there, this is also there. So it is we, but without criticizing, it is we have to decide what kind of dogs we should go. It depends upon us. It depends upon us what we prefer.
Okay, as preservation breeders, we are the ones who are supposed to ensure that the wrong
Yeah.
things are
Samnath Ghosh. I'll take up this question. Samnath Ghosh, I know he's into German Shepherds, so he should not be asking me these questions. He knows a lot. But
No,
the
he's
only thing
asking
is,
for the larger
see, ideal
audience.
weight. Ideal weight depends upon. You must understand the standard says 62 centimeters to 65, right? For a male, 55 to 60 for a female, plus minus 1 centimeters here and there. So you cannot aim a 60 centimeter dog or 62 centimeter dog the same weight than a 66 centimeter dog.
Okay.
But for me, ideal weight is something around 37 kilo for a male.
For me, okay.
And best thing is you have to see the bone strength, the size, then you have to see. But if it's a smaller male, it can be 34.5, 36 kilos, male 37. For me, is 36 to 37 kilo is a good size. The dog can work.
Okay.
Yeah, the dog
what about a female German Shepherd? So what would be the?
It's a smaller size. You are going down to 60 centimeters. So same, it will reduce a couple of kgs, 4 5 kg.
Okay.
See, basically, the standard has laid down. You must see your dog can work or not work. Your dog is skinny or not looking skinny.
Yeah, whether he's got the balance and substance to work. So super. So we have one question from Mr. Prashant Dar.
Yeah, Prashant Dar has asked about knowledge of croup. This is very debatable subject. For me, croup is no bones, as you know. Croup is in between the starting of the hip joint to the starting of the tail. So it consists of ligaments and muscles, right? So the standard, it is very debatable subject. The standard has said it has to be 23 degrees to the horizontal. Somebody says 27 degrees. But here, let me tell you, from my perspective, it's my own perspective. If a dog is highly, doing very good work, training and all that, the croup looks firm and stable. When the dog of a good croup, who has a good croup, is a little old, is out of exercise, it will definitely look a little steep, a little inclined, first of all. Then this croup, how does this croup works? See, you understand the energy starts from when the dog moves, it kicks the behind. So the power, when it kicks the behind, the power is static energy. Static energy becomes kinetic energy. Once it moves, it's kinetic. So it goes to the bones, and bones are connected by ligaments, muscles. So that it travels from the hocks to the lower thigh, through the muscles, ligaments to the upper thigh, then reaches where? Then reaches at the croup. Tail balances the croup, and from the croup it propels to the front. So now understand, if the croup is steep, some energy will be forced to the front, and some energy will go up. I'm talking about micro level, because then the next feet will kick in. So when the next feet will kick in, the unused energy will travel again. So if it is not smooth, so it will not travel, and if it goes up, it will create an imbalance. When the dog is moving, it will, the hip joint, the lower area will get up. To balance that energy, it will get up. So it will create a disharmony. And next thing is, not only good croup, even if you have a good croup, the energy travels. If you have loose shoulders, loose pasterns, so everything is connected, the neck, everything is supporting. Croup is a part which helps in transmitting the energy from the behind to the front. At the same time, a croup should not be judged in the photograph. I have seen dogs, you have to see them while he is standing. And German Shepherds we don't touch, but I like to touch them. The big dogs, winning dogs, I see them, how it feels to the hand. Then you see them in walking. Then you see them in the medium trot, then in the fast trot. Then when they are tried, then I evaluate the croup. Maybe I am not that intelligent, but I check all these things to know this is the croup.
No,
I hope I have answered Mr. Prasant's answers.
You're done. We go to the next one, sir. There is one more from Ms. Gauri.
I've already answered this question, as I told you, over the years, about the breeders and how it takes place, and how, because of the breeder's perspective, how it changes. You know that I explained to you. It is the individual breeder's perspective and that period of time. And what changes have taken place, already I have told you about the curvature of the back line, the excessive angulation of the hinds, little loose lips, shortening of the foreface, roundness of the skull, ear carriage. These things have taken place. But not to all dogs. I said there might be some, but still the good dogs are there who added to the standard, and correct dogs.
Okay, sir. We'll go to the next question. So since all the best German Shepherds are being sold out of Germany, is it still wise for us to follow their standards?
See, you have to understand every in the you see now you breed cocker spaniels. If a breeder will not sell you good cocker spaniel, how you will breed in India?
Very
So
true.
it is a normal phenomenon. But you have to see Germany produces so many dogs. And another thing for our viewers, I'm saying the dogs which are the top dogs which are sold from Germany, they stay in Germany.
Okay.
It is owner's pride. After the show and the breeding is finished, they go back.
Okay. Okay.
You have to understand. And why they are kept in Germany? Because the stud they'll get the stud in Germany. And stud is that commercial aspect. Next thing is they want their dog to wean in further. Suppose the dog is VA4, wants to be Siger. He must have a progeny group. He cannot
Correct.
bring it from Australia, China, Japan. He has to bring it from Germany. It is not economically viable. Maybe he can get 1-2 dogs. So they house and train their dogs in Germany. The dogs are used in Germany and their puppies are in Germany. So only the owner changes.
Okay, it makes a lot of sense. So that way, the cream of the blood is still in Germany.
Sorry?
That way, the cream of the bloodline are still in Germany. Only the ownership changes.
Always in Germany. Always in Germany.
Okay, that answers this question, sir. So why is the movement of the German support so important in a confirmation showing?
See, in the confirmation show, you have to understand, I'm talking about all breed show.
Correct.
A judge has to give to every breed a little time, right? So in a confirmation show, every breed is judged what basis? By up down, little bit of movement, and judge have little time to see the temperament, is shy or nervous or something. So there is no other means. Suppose in a specialty, we get more time. I see the dog in the standing, I see the dog in the walking. If the handler is trying to fool me with handling some dogs or creating something, still I can find out. This is a dog in a woman dada house. I have taken photographs, such a harmony. So we can see a lot of time with the woman. So we can see the dog's harmony, dog's balance. We get a lot of time, to see the dog, how it is performing. But in all breed, so every breed has to see this is a movement. You see, this is what I call flat to the ground. So now the dogs are dancing, lifting the legs. Withers are they have kept it high. Sometimes some dogs are very good withers, but the handlers choke them. Choke them to show that. So they start paddling, the paddling in the front, it creates an unusual gait. The natural gait is this. You see, the good hind thrust. The top line is parallel to the ground. The neck is forward, and the dog has a very good reach. But I see sometimes this dog. This is a Paul Bierstetter. This dog has a very firm backline. See, the standard says very straight and firm backline. This is an example of a very straight backline.
Okay.
So these dogs with straight backline can move better than this curved back dogs and lower angulated dogs.
Okay.
Because over angulated dogs. So this is another female with a very nice front reach. There's a French female. Photograph taken by me. See the hind thrust, see the tail carries. See, it's very important. See, the tail is balancing. Tail is not down. Sometimes you see doctor tail say down inside the legs. No, tail has to create. They have to take a turn. The neck, because neck, you have to understand the head is fixed to the neck, and neck is only connected with the body and no support system. So you can't have a too much long neck or too big head. Too big head also create a gravitation force down.
Correct. It loses the balance. You're right.
Some people, not to mention, some people say this is, you see, this picture. The dog has a perfect breather, very good breather, and it is very streamlined. As Mr. Radhakrishnan asked you, you see this from the breather till the tail joint. It's straight line, isn't it? It's a top dog.
Correct.
So this is correct. These dogs are there. No, you see, no overreach, no extra underreach. Exact. We call it.
This correct balance of it.
So this is it. So the movement is very. So why movement is important? I was telling you. So in a specialty show, we can see that. Suppose somebody is doing herding. He has sheep flock, so he can see that my dog is not tired. My dog is not tired. Whole day he worked. And somebody is doing protection service. He can say that he's intelligent. He has a good response. But in the confirmation show, we have less time. So we use the basic parameter, that is economy of gait. The dog with minimum effort covering maximum ground. So that is why we see the gait. I believe that is the why in confirmation shows we see the movement.
Thank you, sir. Beautifully explained. It's a really good insight into it. Okay,
Thank
next
you.
question to that.
Next question is ask me. Next question. Anything you want to ask.
Okay, so why does the FCA differentiate long and harsh coat and double
Yeah,
coat breed?
yeah, that is a very important question. Around 2010, 11, when I was there. So what happened is before that, because it's a recessive gene, because that even if 100 years of breeding, they were not able to eradicate this long coat gene, right?
Okay, okay,
And previously, SP, if there's a long coat, it cannot be bred or breed surveyed. One, it cannot be breed surveyed, it cannot be bred. It can only
correct.
sold as a pet, and it becomes a burden for the breeders. If a
Okay,
organization could not able to take out this gene from the gene
correct,
pool,
correct.
so what can the breeders do? And sometimes the breeders are burdened with the puppies, and it's inhuman, to call them or give them to somebody. People are not interested because they say, we cannot show, we cannot breed. And
Breed.
then very few people you have who want a dog neutralized and keep in the house. But as a German Shepherd, the breed is popular. So a lot of breeders are breeding worldwide. So what happened? They decided why we have not accepted this long coat is because basically, you see, these long coats are in India and all that. This is a double coat. Actually, they are not double coat. They are single coat. They don't
Okay,
have a undercoat. Thus,
correct.
the normal coat German Shepherds have a undercoat. They
That's
are
the double
actually
coat.
double coat.
Double coat.
But these long coats are technically single coat, but people call it double coat. So they don't have an inner coat. So once they don't have inner coat, they can't work in the cold weather, in the rain,
Cold.
in harsh weather. They can get sick. So that
True.
is the why the SP has created an animal which is we can see can work, hard, do the hard work, do herding. So they thought it is not suitable, but somehow they found out that certain from these long hair dogs, certain dogs they don't have single coat. Like some dogs have undercoat. So
Okay,
there are two types. One is with a silky type coat,
okay,
which is parted from the middle, and
okay.
very very long coats parted from the middle, and they don't have a undercoat. But
Undercoat.
some
Okay,
dogs they don't have a long coat on the body, like the silky coat on the body. They have an undercoat. They have little hair in the ears, in the tail,
okay,
in the
okay.
legs, in the thighs, in the neck, man, and ears. So these dogs, they say yes, this they can work, Plus,
Because they have an
lot of
undercoat.
breeders with these kind of puppies will have a respite. You understand? We'll
Okay,
have a respite.
very
So
true.
they call it long harsh coat. That means harsh long coat with undercoat. That means the outer hair is harsh, not soft,
Correct.
not silky, not parted, and inside they have a coat,
Undercoat. Fabulous.
woolly coat. So undercoat. So then they started registering, and because this long coat, why they accepted it. You have to understand. Long coats to long coat will not produce smooth coat.
Okay.
You understand now?
Yes.
Long coats to long coat will never produce smooth coat. If somebody is saying my long coat they produce smooth coat, something is wrong because they have proven it by doing DNA test and everything. That is why I
Okay.
decided we will make it a different breed. It is they will not be competing with each other, but at the same time the breeders and the owners will get a respite and will also enjoy and love their animal. Everybody like to they have an animal. Sometimes they want to go to the dog show or go any work or title. They want to go. So that is it.
Now this gives an avenue for them to do that. That's wonderful. Okay, we'll take a question from one of our viewers, sir. There is one Mr. Shamir Mirza who asks, sir,
Hmm.
please clear the doubt that dark black mask and rich
Dark
pigmentation
blood mask. What is
and rich
that?
pigmentation can really dominate other perfect color and perfect marking dog in the ring. And black mask really play a big role in the shows.
No, I'll explain to you. You being a breeder, also you know that there's a difference between color and pigmentation.
True.
Color is your saddle color and tan marking, or in German Shepherd. Pigmentation is nose pigmentation, eye rims, pupils, iris. That is eyes, eye color. Then you have ear tips. Then you have nail color. Then
Correct.
you have tail tips. That is pigmentation. If that is dark, the dog is darkly pigmented. So we don't say lack in pigmentation. When the color is fading, we say fading color or lack in saddle. Lack in
Okay.
saddle color. So see, you have to see pigmentation. If the pigmentation is there, see earlier times and these times also, you will see many bitches, females don't have darker color,
Darker pigmentation. You're
saddle
right.
color. With
That's
the
something which I
year, the breeding, when they are 6, 7 years, they fade the saddle color. But the pigmentation is there. The mask, the nose color, the ear tip, the ears, and the nails, tail tip, and that is there. But sometimes you say, for me, color is the color. If the color is between the standard, so there are different colors. I will tell Siddharth to say, put the color slides. So all colors are acceptable because the standard says all color has to be evaluated similarly. Color Siddharth color slides. So
Well, yeah, I'm asking him to do that.
Siddharth color side, different colors of the German Shepherds I have given. So that what happens is it is a personal choice, right? See, there are different colors as a grey sable, bicolor, many shades, then black, then you have black and tan. Some people call black and red, black and tan, black and gold, black and cream. So all colors are acceptable, and all colors should be judged equally, and they should be judged according to their performance and structural evaluation. But some breeders, they have their personal opinion. Like cockers, somebody is breeding golden cockers. You are a cocker breeder. Somebody likes to breed blue roans. So nobody can control. But when they are, they are being shown or being a cocker enthusiast or breeder, you will definitely will not. Even if you like blue roans, if there is a golden one or a black one or lemon roan, you will not say it's bad. If the anatomy is good, temperament is good, you will say it's a good one.
Very.
I think I have explained it the way. It's a personal preference.
Okay. So I think the gentleman's question was also on that some judges prefer certain color. It's a question of personal.
Sable colored dogs are not penalized. Rather, Mr. Swami Radhakrishnan has asked the sable colored dogs. Timo Berekastan was VA. Before that, many sables were VA. Earlier times, it is the fancy and it is the of the breeders. They choose the color, right? All colors are. Before that, Iceman Dakota was there. Was a top VA rated dog. So VA dogs are there. Earlier, Timo Berekastan, you must be knowing, was a VA2. Timo 1 Berekastan.
Correct. I think I remember seeing it.
Yeah, so all colors are allowed, but sometimes the color, only not color, color must combine with the anatomy and the performance. Suppose something happens in cockers. Now we can't see blue run cockers, so we have a blue run cocker, we should put it BOV. It never happens.
True.
Somebody has to breed a good blue run.
Correct.
Right.
No, we get the point. It's bang on the point as such.
Sorry?
I said the explanation is bang on. It is very clear. As you rightly said, it is beyond the color. It is the quality of the dog and the structure.
We have to judge according to the standard. So if the standard has permitted the color, we are nobody to say this color is good or that color should be preferred.
Very true.
But at the same time, I can't force any breeder. Can I force you? Suppose you are breeding blue run. Can I force you to breed golden cockers or no? I can't force you.
That's my personal preference.
If somebody wants to breed, he'll breed. So if somebody wants to breed, he'll breed. Somebody wants to breed. Chevernell used to breed very good black cockers. They used to breed black cockers.
Correct. Good, sir. We'll go to the next one, sir. What are Schutzhund trials all about?
Yeah, it's a working trial. It started around 1900. Okay. And 1901 was the first trial. It was about the German Shepherds. It is in 3 parts. One is the obedience part. Obedience part is basic obedience, socialization, doing sit down, flat, and all that, and bringing dog bell, clearing the hurdles. After that, there's a tracking part. You understand that they have different degrees with different difficulties. After that is the protection part. So protection is from a short distance, from long distance. That is, that intruder comes and then they have to arrest him and what. So before that it was Schutzhund 1. It started with the German Shepherd Club. Then the FCI come out with IPU. In International Prüfung or no. So then then the Schutzhund and IPO merge, it become IPO, right? So then because of this protection and all that, you have social activists and all that, they change the name to IGP, working trial. IJP. International Jefferson Prüfung. So then this is IGP. So now this Schutzhund is not there. Everywhere, initially Schutzhund started with the German Shepherds, then you wait for the working dogs like Rottweilers, Boxers, Dobermans. Then it became merged with the IPO. Same thing, change the name a little bit from the FCI. And then now it is IGP. Now they are coming out with the ZAP. Why I'm in German Shepherds? Why I'm telling you? See, earlier times, people who are farming, they had time. You understand? They used to go for trials, work, and now there is a requirement. Without IPO, you can't breed your dog, and without IGP, now is IGP. Without IGP, you can't do the breed survey. Once you don't do the breed survey in Germany or the SB system, you can't breed, right?
Okay.
So it has become difficult for common breeders to a certain extent. Now, the breeders which are popular, who has a team, who have 10 friends, they can team up and train, and they have best of the helpers, trainers. It is easier for them. So then the SB has decided to have JAP. I'll explain to you a little bit. It has not formalized. Before that, I'll tell you the one character assessment has been introduced, which is called Wesson test.
Okay.
Because when this IPO was there, so Sundar IGP was there, people used to think that if my dog bites in the work, because apart from the working trials for the Seeger show, like the German World Championship, for the open class you have to do the bite work, right? Short bite and long bite, and they saw certain dogs they have completed IPO 3. You understand? IGP 3. That means highest level of training. Still they are failing in the bite work.
Okay.
That means what has happened? So they have only concentrated on the bite part, but they have not from the beginning done the basic things, because they know for our show purpose, if my dog bites, I'm passed, and rest IPO trials he must do basics. So now SB come out that from 9 to 13 months they must have a taste and pass it, because they have to socialize the dog. What is the response of the dog towards the different sounds, and different environments to the gunshot. So from the beginning, the what happens is the owners will take care and socialize the dog. So that came fast. Now they are thinking this IPO is little bit too difficult for the normal people. So that is why slowly normal people in the open class are not coming. They have to train the dog. It's expensive. It's expensive. So they are coming out with the job, which is in the same line of IGP, but little less strenuous. So normal people can do it easily. So they can breed survey, they can breed their dogs, they can go to the show. Only highest rating they'll get is V rating. For a VA, if that dog is very good and they're doing well, they have to go for the IPO. Then they can be graded. This is what is in the offering. So I am giving you. It's a good idea. I think more and more the world has changed. People used to work in the farm. They used to have some establishments. Now people are working from morning to evening with the computer. There's no time, They're like a pet in the apartment and the house. So what happens is we have to change a little bit. We don't have to change so much. We have to keep intact the working temperament of the dog. We have to keep intact the breed essence. At the same time, we can also involve common people, so our breed can be more popular and more easier for people to show and breed.
Correct. Wonderful, sir. That makes a lot of sense in today's age.
Yes. Somebody has asked organized BH and IGP. I can say, I were proud to say we have a trial warden, Mr. Nilesh Surve. He is doing very good work. And we have already done BH and character assessment tests in Pune. And 2 dogs have already got the title. It is unfortunate to say the dog breeder whose dog got a BH title, first BH title in India, he expired, Mr. Deepak Mudalia. My sincere condolences. And he used to work very hard, and he was a very good enthusiast for working titles. And this record will always stand in his name. And first Wesson test, character assessment test, a female was got bred by Mr. Vishwas Basbraj from Bangalore and handled by Mandar Tupi from Pune. And that female got first character assessment test. So already we have started.
Wonderful. So that's again new.
And next stage is IGP. As you know, Joy, it is easy to write in the internet. Say we are not like Germany. Germany is a small country. Nearby is France, England. You see our class from Tamil Nadu to West Bengal to Maharashtra to Kashmir. You should just think. You to start something. You can start. It's very easy. I can announce. We can announce. We'll start it. But you must have infrastructures. You have connecting people, training the dogs. Once you start, you should be able to provide all the facilities.
Sustain it and take it forward.
But we have started.
Wonderful, sir. Congrats on that. Thanks. So the next question is on hip dysplasia. So hip
Yeah,
dysplasia
yeah,
is a
yeah.
common problem.
I'll tell you, this is not a common problem. This is a problem. We have a problem. Same thing. The Labradors have problem. You take the note. Labradors have bigger problems. Saint Bernards, Labradors, even Golden Retrievers have problems. Every bigger breed, when the growth rate is more from the puppy time, they have changes in the structure. It is also environmental and genetics, as you know, as a breeder.
Okay.
And as you say, in Germany also, without hips and elbows, they can't breed. You know that.
Correct.
You cannot breed. But still, those stocks which have been bred hips and elbows for hips and elbows and they are certified, still they are producing 30% or 27%. Still they are producing. That means it is an underlying gene. What we see the X-ray reports, it's phenotype. It's what you can see physically. But
Correct.
genotype sometimes works, and it is difficult to take it out. But for that, different procedures are taken, and you will be happy being part of the special project committee. I had with special project committee members, other members, including Mr. Sudarshan, we had many interactions with Tamil Nadu Veterinary Association University, Tanuvas, and we have found out a way, and also for the DNA and for hips and elbow dysplasia. That is from the KCI point of view. We are going to implement. As from the German Shepherd Club of India, spending a lot of money, I will not here say. We got Dr. Lauer, who is an expert in this hips and elbows. He's a SP judge plus veterinary doctor. We train 22 doctors across the country, even from Chennai also.
Okay.
From Chennai, from Coimbatore, from Ooty, from Punjab, from everywhere. 22 doctors we trained on the SP way, how to take X-rays, how to give anesthesia, what are the positions, and how you must fill up the forms with the microchip number, with the marking, everything we have. Then the SB certificates have come.
Okay.
And this is COVID time. At the same time, as I explained to you, you must have logistics. Doctors we train, that's all right. The forms has to be there. Then we have to understand in India the paying capacity. You know, when you send X-rays to the SP, you have to pay the price in the SB fees.
Correct.
The club members have to agree, and we have to make an agreement with the SB and how it has to be sent. And suppose I do it in Madras. The doctor is trained, but there is a person from the German Shepherd Club or KCI must be present, because everything can go wrong. To verify this, double check. Doctor checks, another person checks. The X-ray is taken. The X-ray is sent to the one copy. Always stays with the doctor. One copy comes to us, German Shepherd Club. We send it to the SP, and we can make it stamp it. And we are in this process, and we will do it. We will definitely do it hips, elbow, and DNA. And we'll be little relaxing in the beginning, because it is starting. We can't be so harsh. As I said, like IPO to IGP to JAP started. We have to give leverage to people. We have to take them with us, with board. We have to make them understand they should believe us and they should have confidence in us. It should not be a burden that you should do it. True. It should be a gradual phase. At the same time, you should facilitate them with services, and we will do it.
Very good, sir. That's a great initiative, and I think all the breeders.
I say 22 doctors. They have been trained under SPY.
That's a wonderful
in Pune for 2 days.
I think with all the breeders should take note of this and go forward with it and get all their dogs graded appropriately. Now that you're saying that everything is in place, so we will go to the next question, sir. What was ignoring Mutzfeldzer Farm and Marco Seller Land?
It's called Moose Pleasure Farm. Moose Pleasure Farm, Marco Seller Land. Okay. See, Jai, these were very old dogs. I'll tell you. Marco was figure in 72. I was born in 69. So I went to Germany from 96 and 96. But see, I'll tell you. I'll explain you. And from 96, I've been going regularly. Only last year, I had little disc problem, my back problem, so I could not go. Otherwise, I used to go every year. And from 2010 to 2018, every year I used to stay 3 to 4 months in Germany before the Sigur show. Because Sigur show is a showcase of winning dogs and different kennels. But if you are before, you see the local shows, you see the normal people who are there talking. Sometimes the normal people, they don't enter because they don't have a chance. They have a normal dog. But you see the normal people's feeling. What are the dogs around Germany? What is the overall standard? And so I used to stay there. So what I've heard from people, there are different connotations to that. Some people say it was politics, and then Some other dogs were promoted. These dogs' progeny were not promoted. Right? This is
Okay.
one.
Okay. Correct.
But this is one aspect. Because I'm saying I've never seen them. So other people, like I'll quote one guide and mentor of mine is Mr. Reinhard Meyer, breeder of Brugmanser, very famous. He has judged many times. He has made Remo Vegas over Seeger. I was asking him. He said, this Marco Sutherland was a very good dog. Very dark mask, medium size, very strong bones, firm backline, very good brain, very good intelligent and brain in the working.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of working line people also bred to this dog. And this dog also in the first generation produced 7 select dogs. Select dogs means weird dogs.
Okay.
Females, males including.
That's
They
brilliant.
were very nicely well constructed. But in the second generation, the quality was not that good.
Okay.
But still, Herman Martin wanted to keep the line alive. They wanted to promote. They kept some dogs, maybe not in VA, but in the top places, V places, and forwarded. But after that, they could not find any outstanding ordinance in them. That is why, see, even if now, suppose in India, I take a seminar, I say, in the show line, we must add Sable and bicolor dogs, German Shepherds.
Okay.
This is the
Okay.
standard. But in the India, the breeders are not ready to accept it. I can force them. Maybe while I am judging, there is a nice bicolor, I can put it in the front. But it is up to the breeders to accept it in the gene pool. Try to understand.
Very true.
Next thing on from Marco Sutherland, his son Kai was there. Through Kai's daughter, in the 10th, 11th generation, I think, there was one dog, Paul Bestader. There is no other dog. Then I will substantiate my facts of what Mr. Maya told me. Mr. Maya told me, he had a dog, Seeger, Yuzo Brugmanser, who was very good moving dog, very beautiful, good looking. He said Yuzo's mother, from Yuzo, 5th generation, they are in his house. Very good bloodline, all females. Very good show performance and production. But Yuzo had a brother, went to US and had a sister. He said Yuzo was so good looking, so good moving, but Yuzo never produced anything.
Oh, okay.
Nothing great. He produced, but nothing to mention over than nothing perpetuated his line in the future. So
Not a leave legacy.
it can happen. And regarding Moo's line is used. Moose was a normal dog, short back dog, little short croup, little upper arm, little reservations over there, but very good character, resilience. So Moose was used. You see, Moose was used, and from the Moose line, through we have many dogs like Hills Papenspiel came, Happy Arlet. Then this Remo Pistons, like you are saying, is from the Moose line.
Okay.
See, sometimes for 5-6 generations, even Fandos Public was from Moose line. Stella Romero through mother side also from Moose line.
Okay.
So sometimes what happens is the lines keeps on coming. Sometimes you see Fandos Public was a good dog. Herman Martin and other people make Fandos Public a weird dog. If Fandos Public could not able to perpetuate, you can't blame. Sometimes politics is there, but this what you can do. Fandos Public was there. So then same thing. Now after a long time from Moose line Remo came, and Remo gave how many VAs? So many. Coronos del Ceprio, he gave Corpora Mental, he gave so many dogs he gave, Remo. Now see, from Remo's son, Coronos del Ceprio, who was destined to be Seeger, was SG1 in the time, very good looking dog, but he had nothing to mention any males. What can you do? Not much. So it happens sometimes. And sometimes every time critics write, some people like it, they write it, some people don't. But Marco Sutherland was a very good dog, and some working line still this must be there. But personally, I have not seen the dog, but what I have heard, he was very good dog with very good character.
Wonderful.
And Moose line is still there.
Okay. So that's great.
The Remo Pistons flag, everybody talks about Remo Pistons flag. Happy Arlet, Hannibal Stigler Hup. So these dogs are there. Last on one line was Hilson Athaba. So it was there.
Okay. That's interesting. From 70s, we are still able to see them in the dogs here today. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to the next question, sir. So why do a lot of German Shepherd puppies require ear support when they should ideally stand erect naturally? Is it owing to genetics or environmental factors?
See, like we're discussing, genetics is a very difficult subject. I'm not a geneticist, but a little bit as a breeder I know. That day, I was listening to Mr. Sam Mehta. He was explaining Mendel's theory. See, we breed so many dogs: 5-5, 4-4, 3-3. The dogs are all in the pedigree. So we never know what is producing, and a same dog is never produced again.
Okay.
Otherwise, you must have heard about before. Odin Tanamaiji, Jack Naricum. Have you found another Jack Naricum or another Odin Tanamaiji? No. So same thing. I like virtues. Certain problem areas they crop up with the breeding. This soft ear came from Quanto Vinaro,
Okay.
and most probably from Jack Noricum. And Jack Noricum's mother, Quita Ehrenfeste, Hobby's mother, Quita Ehrenfeste, Hobby's mother, not Jake's. Jake's father was Hobby, Hobby
Okay.
Gesseltop. Hobby's mother was Quita Ehrenfeste. Quita believed to be carry forward this soft ear problem
Soft ears. Okay.
through Jake. It came from Jake, but it came from Jake's father's, Hobby's Quita Ehrenfeste.
From the maternal side as such. Okay. But is there any environmental factor also?
So if it is there, one has to be careful when you are breeding to Jake. You have to be
Okay.
careful. See, if there is a problem, you have to be careful, and you have to see what way you can go. What best we can do.
With a gene pool available. Correct.
Right. Because
is there
nothing is perfect. The standard as says we only accept the dogs which is nearer to the standard. Till now, if it is anything, the day I see a perfect dog, I'm telling Joy I will leave German Shepherds. I've seen the perfect dog. So why should I continue?
True. I understand. So, but is
Yeah,
the
tell me.
environmental factor also influence the ears?
No. Nothing to
It's
do.
only genetics. It is purely genetics.
Unless you hurt the ears or somebody fiddles around, there's not an environmental factor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We'll go to the
Yeah.
next one. Yep.
Right.
The next question
Next,
is,
what else you want?
we'll go, sir. We'll go for the movement video, sir.
Why who's asking?
1 second. We'll again put it up. Okay. Why the GSD is a winning breed in India when it never seems to win anywhere in the world dog shows, Crufts or Westminster on a consistent basis?
Which GST who has taken them to these shows? We must first find out and ask me. Nobody has taken. First up thing. Next up thing, I'm telling you, in India, we see a lot of German Shepherd dogs in all breed shows.
Okay.
All breed shows we see, but in abroad, basically the German Shepherds they go to specialty shows.
Okay.
Even if the judges from India who has gone to Australia and other places, they will vouch that in there they see few dogs. Most of the German Shepherds they would like to go to the specialty shows.
Okay.
So those are the all breeds. At the same time, in all breed dog shows like wild dog shows and all, so how many breeds Joyce? How many breeds? What quality? All of them very good quality they comes.
Very good.
German Shepherd is my favorite and I love them. But at the same time, you can't rule out there are many beautiful breeds, FCA countries and all that. And other reason I told you, most of the very good German Shepherds they don't go.
They don't go for the all breed. They go to
And you
specialty.
tell me now, which German Shepherd owner or which German Shepherd breeder in India has taken to these shows?
True. There is a challenge.
Right?
Again, economics. Yes, sir. That makes sense. That addresses the question.
Maybe somebody from India takes it. We will support him.
That will be a good idea to do. And sir, would you want to play the movement video now? The 3D capture movement.
Yeah. I would like. I'll tell you. This is a experiment done by Dr. Martin Fisher from the Gießen University. See, earlier they used to say the upper arm is short, the shoulder is long, and so many things. So this is a locomotion video where Martin Fisher, by using special cameras and scanners and machines, infrared cameras, find out that every time the upper arm is equal to shoulder blade in a German Shepherd. If the upper arm is short, the shoulder blade is short.
Okay.
And in the movement, the most effectiveness of is shoulder blade.
Okay.
The upper arm has less effect in the movement. The shoulder blade has more effect in the movement.
Okay.
And also he said why we say upper arm, it is very easier to access upper arm. But if you
Okay.
see the upper arm looks nice, that means the shoulder is nice.
Okay.
You cannot say the upper arm is steep and very good shoulder angulation. No. If the upper arm is not well angled, the shoulder is not well angled.
Okay.
If the upper arm is short, the shoulder is not very good length.
Okay.
That he found out. I am not saying. So
Okay.
this was been transferred to me by my mentor and guide, Mr. Reinhard Meyer.
Okay.
So otherwise, I would not have got this opportunity to view or have these things. This is the way the dog walks. You know how the skeleton works.
Okay.
This is the way the dog walks. How it looks in the balance from the top and down. They have done extensive study. So he said to me, and which I will always remember, that the shoulder is very important.
Okay.
So upper arm is indicator that how the shoulder is placed or angled, and what is the length of the shoulder. This is what he said to me, and he shared with me these videos, which is how the dog, when the dog is galloping, how it looks in the
At various speeds of movement.
this is the red signs, like how the muscle works.
Okay.
This is how the muscle works.
Which muscle takes the load at which point of movement?
Yeah. This is in the slow motion. This is in the natural motion, how it works and how it helps. Which muscles are active in the movement.
That's a lot of work that they've done. Wonderful, sir. Thanks for
So
sharing.
it's a university. It has done locomotion of different breeds also.
Okay.
And then you see, I have certain. You see this how they have used the infrared cameras and walking tool. Where the dog is walking. So skeletons and putting different areas. Infrared lights and all that, which will capture the motion with computerized system. So they have taken. So this is the movement of the dog. They have found out when the breather and the necks and the top line is parallel to the ground, the dog has more efficient motion. Mm-hmm. So it is a notion that your breathers are up and putting your legs in the air, the dog moves. No, the dog moves flat on the ground. It's a better one.
Okay. So So there is one question from Mr. Pratyush Datta. Sir, you have been privileged to be part of both the SV judging panel as well as the KCI.
All ring and special ring. So because we have seen multiple times dogs going, think V1 is specialty, and sadly they do not get the top spot in the all bids and even get written up in the bidding.
Rings.
See, a lot of people they ask it. Try to understand. When I judge the dog, if it is an all breed ring or a specialty ring, to the breed standard. At the same time, every dog performs under different judges differently. Now tell me, I am giving a simple example. Even if the standard is same, when Reinhard Meyer was breed warden, he chose the dogs he liked. Mm-hmm. When Mr. Lothar Kohl came, he chose the dogs what he likes. It happens all the time because when the standard is there, but it has got little variance of interpretation. You know that.
True.
In cockers, everything, every breed, Dobermans, every breed. So a judge is a human being. He comes with his experience. He comes with his experience and knowledge, and he would like to see and place a dog what he thinks is close to the standard. So no judge is bad. So at the same time, it is a good that different dogs winning at different type. So if one dog is winning all the time, so people sometimes say that dog is fixed only. That dog is winning. Why will go to the show? So if a dog is V1, he is of good quality. That doesn't mean that he will be always V1. A good dog is always placed in the top. But there is no guarantee that he has got V1 in a certain show, that he should be V1 in all the shows. Then what other people will do? Sometimes a young dog matures. Sometimes the dog which has won under a top judge, after 3 weeks has lost hair, got sick. There are different variables. Apart from the variables, even the court condition health is all right. But can you tell me if the dog has won under Mr. Sanjit Mohanty, he or she has to win under Mr. Sudarshan? No, there is no guarantee. It is a personal preference, and all good dogs should win. That I can tell. and it is a passion, and we must take it positively and sportingly.
True. As I said, sportive spirit is very important.
Simple thing of Mr. Sam Mehta is a boxer breeder. Mr. Mukul Paid is a boxer breeder. And there are many more. See, they might choose the same dogs, they might choose different dogs also. That doesn't mean that that dog is bad, this dog is good. Every good dog deserves to win, and being a owner, you must know which dog you are showing under which judge. Like suppose I have to show German Shepherd under a judge, I must understand what type, what style he likes, what type he likes. I will place what he likes. You have to be careful, and you have to also work out, isn't it?
Very true. Very true.
Sometimes you see European judges, they judge the long hair breeds. In Europe, they don't like too much of trimming. The American judges like too much of trimming. If you trim too much of trimming, your dog's a good dog, the European judge might took it out. You will not like it.
Yeah,
so you must be aware where you are showing what specimen.
Very true. Very true. That's a valid point, sir. So we have another question from Happy 7 saying, "Good evening, sir. In the German Shepherd, which should be given the first priority? Should it be the anatomy or the temperament of the dog?"
Absolutely temperament. Equally temperament and anatomy, but my first will temperament. If you are taking a dog, so career is 2 years, 3 years, maximum 4 years. But rest of the time the dog is going to stay in your house. If you have a dog which is aggressive, shy, you will never enjoy it. So first of all, you have to see temperament and soundness of the limbs. The dog must not have cowhocks or very bad things, looseness. Must be firm, must be a healthy dog, first of all. Healthy dog with good temperament.
As you rightly said, a good temperament and a good health from an ownership perspective is very important.
Yes.
Wonderful. We'll go to the next one. So, Mr. Sudarshan has asked a question. So, what is the actual role that is played by a breed warden in the German Shepherd?
The breed warden is the person, like I'll explain you. It's like he decides, like in Germany, there is a chief breed warden. Chief breed warden who is elected. Like this year is Mr. Bernd Weber, he's the chief breed warden. Before that, Mr. Lothar Kohl. Before that, Mr. Reinhard Meyer. So, chief breed warden devises a plan. So, there is a core committee. Like our KCI executive committee. So, breed warden is given a chance to devise a plan. So then members come out. These are the problems we are facing. We are facing problems with the temperament or this with whatever problems related to this breed. So he devised a plan. Then for the next 3 years, when he is in power, what has to be done? He decides. And next there are regional breed wardens, regional areas. So they have been implemented. So those regional breed wardens, with coordination with the local breeders and owners, see that those things are implemented and those things are followed and the people are educated or given awareness. So that means the breed warden decides, and especially in Germany, the breed warden decides what kind of dogs should be encouraged to breed and put up in the final shows. So what risks and problems we should avoid.
So a chief breed warden literally decides the course of breeds challenge in next 3 years span. That's great, sir. Wonderful. We'll go to the next one.
He will choose the best select dogs in the Siger show, and those dogs will be used in the breeding program. So definitely he has a greater role and responsibility to choose the right kind of animals which will develop the breed, which not develop, which will help the breed to reach greater heights and overcome drawbacks.
Very good. That's a great responsibility. So we have another question, sir, from Mrs.
Siberian line. There is no Siberian line. It's Serbian line. So German Shepherd is can come from any place. Can come from Australia. Can come from New Zealand. Can come from Germany. Can come from Serbia. Basically, any German Shepherd corresponding to the SP rules, like parentage control DNA, hips and elbow, X-ray, and working titles and breed survey is equal. You understand? It can come from any country. It's a good dog. But if it doesn't have the 3 generations IPO, breed survey, hips and elbow X-rays in German SP system, so they are not equal. So there is no difference. Only thing is that the dog is bred in Germany, this dog is bred in Serbia.
But when you are talking about Eastern Europe influence, were you also referring to Serbia as a country which influenced the dog in a different way? Earlier we were
No,
talking
that you're talking about working lines in Czechoslovakia and all that, they different. But Serbia and all that, Serbia, Hungary, Croatia, they all breed to the German standard.
German standard.
Maybe some local people who breed and doesn't adhere to the SV system, they might be selling some dogs local nearby or to some other countries through the FCI papers is different. But most of the countries have WSP affiliation, and most of the breeders, top breeders, they added to the SB system. So that is why we have a WSP globalization harmonization program within 2-3 years. So we have a single system. Every country which is part of the WSP has a similar type of trials and quality, quality control.
Fair point. So we are able to bring in uniformity. That's good, sir.
So yes. If there is a problem, we can address it, and there is a minimum basic rules. We will follow it. So people cannot complain. This country that is there, this country the dogs are bred 15 months. This country this is bred in for 24 months. This is a simple rule. Single rule. So we know that a dog can come from anywhere if it has gone through the process and not gone through the trials and the system. It is equally good. That's a good idea. It's a
very good idea.
The world is going to a global village. No country, maybe a country of origin has better avenues and better, more systems. But still, other countries can catch up.
Sure, and they can comply. That will be really great.
Right.
So bring in uniformity. We'll go to the next question, sir. So there is one from Mr. Shivi Sudarshan again. In view of the COVID 2019 situation, the German Shiger show was cancelled. Is there a possibility of the Shiger show?
But this year, the German Shiger show is cancelled because it's a very big show. The preparation starts from 5 to 6 months before. The entry, the stadium, the people will come across the world. So it is difficult. And so a certain part of the world, the people are not allowed to travel.
Correct.
So there is a disparity. So that is why this year it is cancelled. But as of Germany, they have started the dog shows and the breed survey and working trials. They have started.
Okay, so the Shiger show will only happen in 2021.
Yeah. Because the Shiger show, the people come from US, from Spain, from Japan, from China, everywhere. So it will not be possible. That is why they have cancelled it this year. And to have a show of this magnitude, they have to prepare it 5 to 6 months before. Parking lots, hotels, everything.
Okay.
So
yeah, a lot of coordination.
That they will not have this.
Okay, sir. So we have one question now. I think that's the last question for the session also. So what are your 3 best dogs you have seen in the world stage, and the 3 best dogs that you
I have seen so many dogs. I love them for their different attributes. Older dogs I have not seen. I have heard about them. But then from older dogs, from the videos and from their production, I used to like Federer Armines, then Mark Hausbeck, then the dog you mentioned, Marco Sellerland. I used to like him. Then I have seen some photographs and production ability of other dogs like Condor Wonstam. Then after that, I liked dogs like you can say Uran Wilstagelen. Then I liked Fanto himself for his movement. And after that, I liked Odin Tanamaiji because he was very good looking dog for his time, and he produced 2 sons, Zambinaro and Jack Noricum, which changed the breed history. These 2 dogs only, they with lines, you see more lines from them. Okay. So they have a greater impact. So I used to like Odin was ahead of his time in looks and type. And sometimes the dogs are born ahead of that time. So then afterwards, I liked many dogs I liked. I liked this dog, you can say Beach, Bhanta Vinaro is very good dog, Beach female. I liked very much. She is top of the list for me.
Okay.
And then recent times I liked Remo and Vegas because they have definitely contributed to the gene pool and being prepotent, and a lot of breeders are using. Other dogs, if I remember, Dux Valkubia was a good dog for me for a movement. And then certain dogs which were not in VS class, like Ilkodi Oringis, Hagadal's RX, for their movement and temperament, I used to like them. So many dogs I have liked them. I've liked, there is a dog from Arlet. The name was Flip Arlet. He died, but I used to like him a lot.
So what are the top 3 dogs that you have owned that you like? Your top dog asset, what are that you have owned which you would like?
Sorry?
The top 3 dogs which you have owned
My own, yeah. I had many. I started when I started. I had many, but then my first winning dog was Salzburg Jambo, bred by Dr. Venkatesan. His
Okay.
father was Fanto Isel's son, Norbert
Mhm.
Van Note, and mother was Uran, daughter Lana Hausmann. So through him, I first under Bestinso, under Mr. Philip John, then under Nawab Bestinso. Then he became the Breed India. At that time, there was a title called Breed India Seeger. So he became
Okay.
the Breed India Seeger in '97. Then I have the distinction of having double Seeger in Ottawa under Kala Heidi, a granddaughter of Jam Binaro and Jake Noricum. From mother side, she became in '99 and 2000 double Seegerin. In Madras also another female I had, Zandra Lackner was vice Seegerin.
Huh?
Then so many. Then I have in Hyderabad I had a vice Seegerin Beauty Lackner Wake and comes from Vinaro lines.
Okay.
Then I had in Pune under Leonard Schweikert Agrigento the Seeger show, Indian Seeger show, one female from Nobha Binarao and Ungana Binarao line, Kelly Kusland became young Seegerin owned by me.
Okay.
Then it is a funny story. I was in Utti sometime,
Huh?
and there is a person called Kalyan Sundaram. He
Okay.
had a beautiful female called Excel Lines Ginger.
Okay.
So I saw the female. I liked the female. I said, I want the female. And that time, Mr. Desai used to have a male called Dusty Vinarao. He said, if
Okay.
you give me a Dusty Vinarao puppy of 3 months, I'll give this female. I said, I give you, you take it. I brought that female. I trained that female, and that female became very investigating.
Wonderful, sir.
That was
Wonderful.
one. And then, so Beauty's Lackner was vice Sigarin, then Jandra Lackner was vice Sigarin. Then I had a Mati Vinarao daughter, Zara Waterloo. It has a distinction of winning in Calcutta,
Okay.
CKC, double best in show
Oh,
in the
wonderful.
record, German Shepherd. So after that, I bred Cassandra's Yorker was a best in show winner and a specialty winner SG3. Then Cassandra's Jam was also best in show and champion dog.
Hmm.
I breed a few. Basically, I'm more into academic. I keep on traveling and my work, but I still breed. I have now also a beautiful female. It's called Cassandra's Alicia. It
Okay.
has got one best in show twice. One
Okay.
time best in show, one time best of series of best of breed.
Wonderful.
So now I have bred 2 liters after 4 years. So I've kept
Okay.
some females. I always keep normally females. I don't keep males because you know that females. Basically, I like female lines, and I see you can breed too many males. You can see experiment.
As a good
So
breeder always does, sir. You're right. We
yeah,
always treated females.
right,
Wonderful,
right.
sir. And I have also given to understand that some of your breeding have been sent abroad and they did a good amount of winning. So are there any?
Not my breeding, Mr. Desai is breeding because we breed together sometimes these dogs because he has some bloodlines which I like because most of earlier dogs were from Venaro line. He
Okay.
had a lot of Venaro dogs, so I used to breed with him. So one of female went there and won in the German shows.
Okay.
Name was Saskia of not Saskia, Raishan of Dogmatics, and
Okay.
her brother was the first male bred by
Mhm.
Indian to be sown in German soil. And
Okay.
2 3 shows he won some good things, and he also beat one of the SG30 dogs from Germany there
Wonderful.
and
Wonderful.
was good. But at the same time, in Germany, it is you have to show the dog, you have to keep the dog, you have to spend money, you have to travel. Otherwise, there are many Indian breeders with good quality dogs. They can
Okay.
do well in Germany. We have a good standard. We have good people breeding well. Only through this program, I can request them. They have to only carefully breed sound dogs. They have to look after the fronts and the hocks, not over-angulated dogs. And
Mhm.
luckily, because of maybe import restriction ban and all that, people are getting good dogs. They're not because it is difficult to get. So,
True.
and whatever the bloodline we had earlier, they didn't have these problems. So many
Correct.
German judges have traveled to India. They have told me that in India we do not have oversize problem, and over angulation problem in India is very minimal,
True. Okay.
very minimal. So we are lucky that way. Only thing is we have to concentrate more on a little bit group, upper arm, and soundness. Maybe they exercise, lose, and they have to choose correct partners. We have good dogs, and once we have this hips, elbow, and DNA scheme, so once it is stabilized from our stock, only we can breed above average dogs.
Much better dogs.
That's more than enough, because you don't have to breed very outstanding dogs and many bad dogs. Your standard has to be at par. Good
Universal,
dogs with good
uniformity.
temperament and the soundness.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session.
I would like to I would like to thank you also and tell Siddharth that there is a little bit of I've done PPT. He has to run that. And before I sum up, I will say that I'm thankful to you, Madras Canine Club. They're doing good work to give me opportunity for this evening. And also, before I end up, I should thank many people who have inspired me, including I'll name them: Dr. Venkateshan, Mr. Sudarshan, Sanjay Desai, and there was a friend of mine from Germany. Now he's in Spain, Jochen Jans. He used to take me to different kennels to show me I've seen Mati Benarao and other Benarao dogs with him. And then my friends, a lot of my friends from Calcutta, from Hyderabad. So there are many people. So it is difficult, small sort of time to take names. And I wish them all good. And I hope the German Shepherd breed prospers and does well in our country. And yes, this is a PPT, Jai, you will like it. It's a small one, because what we discussed is some of the chat. I would like to emphasize in certain things. So yes. See, this is the man which influenced many people to breed, maybe me also. Is Walter Martin of Benarao Kennels. Okay. He had bred outstanding dogs. You know that Esco Benarao, Anta Benarao, Nathalie Benarao, all top dogs. This is what we discussed. This is the general anatomy. We should more try to breed this type.
This type of dogs.
Not the over-angulated type, but a basic normal type, which is firm, strong, no over-angulated quarters. Next, you see, this is a correct breed. Like I like this male, Remo Slack. This is very correct male, nowhere exaggerated, not too much color, you can say, not a big head, but he produced very well in Germany, and I regard him as a moderate dog with very good angulations. As we discussed, we don't need very deep dogs. We need better forearm lengths, and we don't need dogs which are lower in the knees, which are going down. We need dogs which are very streamlined and very flowing top line, clean top line, either being the highest point and croup is slightly sloping with a very good neck, not so upright or not UV neck, but going forward, ready to work, and heads which doesn't have loose lips and too much stop. And this is a female, Freya Slack. I used to like I like her anatomy. She's slightly stretched as a female. She should be from the male. Very good strong quarters. You can see she is standing on the hocks, plump, fronts are under the chest. This is okay before that. Yeah, correct type. This is curvature back. I tell that it has come into our breed, which is not good sign, because the energy transfer will not be correct, and the dog creates a hyena back kind. These are kind of hind angulations, lacking hind angulation, normal hind angulation, correct hind angulation. Then you have pronounced hind angulation, and then you have extreme hind angulation. So it is a basic idea. People should know what we are doing. This is moderate hind angulation. We have discussed it, and I hope people will understand. Correct hind angulation is Remo. So we should understand that there is a difference between the pronounced hind angulation and this is extreme. One is correct, one is pronounced, one is extreme. This is the extreme type. People like it in the Photoshop and in the Facebook and other places, but these dogs will not work, because these dogs will work on the hocks. So once they work on the hocks in the grass ground, they can go for 2 rounds. You see, these are extreme types, over typifications. Both of them are working on the hocks, not on the feet. And you see where is the wither and where is the crook. It's like a hinge.
Correct.
This was SG1, was Tyson Pannoniansi. And he was a good dog, medium-sized dog. This is correct front. A lot of people, they ask what is correct front. This is correct front. That means the line, it's called line, from the elbow to the pastern straight line. So sometimes because of the environment, the pasterns can be a little bit here, but from the top, it should be straight line.
Okay.
So this we should think. And this is, you see, correct behind. The dog is standing on his own. You don't have to support the dog. Neither you have to stretch the dog, nor you have to put your knee or a hand. See, because he's balanced in 4 quarters, the front is under the chest and the legs, you see the hocks are plump. He's standing nicely. He's a good dog. Then you see expressions. I told you, this is expressions are Jara Pendler, the figurine in the left side. You see there is it's a dry head, almond shape eyes, Normal, you see the ear carriage is so nice, nose black and mask, no looseness, no bigness, and the middle is Jam Benaro, was very famous. He had a big head, but till you see there is no lips, loose lips in the corner of the mouth. Next dog is Mala Bakara. I used to like him. His headpiece is a very good headpiece, no looseness. These are Uruk Binaro and Sable dog. Very good. You see, these dogs have masculine head, but nothing excess. No too much top. The eyes are almond. The dry lips, no loose hanging lips. So this is what we are aiming for. We should have a dog with a correct dry head. It should be masculine. I'm not saying it should be a small head. It should be masculine, but not a mastiff.
Not getting exaggerated.
Yes, this is a very good dog. So he had a very alert expression. These heads, you can see how they have changed to these heads. You see the lip size, you see the placement of eyes, you see the skull, you see the nose, bridge, and each of them have open in the mouth, in the corner of the mouth. The lips are hanging, which is not a typical breed type, and which can really this. You see this. This is a coordinated movement. We don't need exaggerated movement. You must see how much thrust behind and same amount of propulsion in the front, keeping the top line intact. And you see that this is also Demina Fissions, like a female, and a very nice female. And you see that how she is covering the ground, and you see the head position. It's not up; it's looking forward and covering a lot of ground.
And so beautifully, she's holding the top line.
Yes, you see this parallel to the ground, naked, the head is towards the front. That means he's covering ground. He's not wasting energy, or he is not looking at the Mars or moon.
Very true.
You see the dog, when the dog is in harmonious, when the dog walks, he looks nice. She looks nice. She's a female, American bred female. She looks nice. She is holding top line. She's going nicely. You can see. It's very easy to see.
Very true, sir.
When the dog, I see, these are extreme movements. I was talking about you. See the position of the hocks, see the position of the hind thrust. They're dragging their feet.
Very true.
Holding the front legs, and where is the head? See, this is single tracking. That is where the four legs come in line. When the dog attains that speed, it comes to a single tracking, we call it. Okay. So four legs comes nearly in a line, and that is the economical and effective gait. So these are some influence of the female, because females should be more important, very important in my breeding lines. All people talk about VA dogs. So I have a small thing, because there are many females, I like them, many females, but I only explained few females. See, this is Palme Wool Stagland. So Palme Wool Stagland produced Gondovan Arminius and Uranbal Arminius. Both fathers, Irk and Javier, were differently fathers, but both brothers produced very potently at their era. And from Quando, that Odin came, and Odin gave Jake and Jam. And many of the female lines, present female lines, comes from Uran through his sons, Aiko Presenta, Liago, Will Stagland. So it's a very important female line, so people must know. And then this is a very important female line which is prevailing nowadays. It's called Karma Basinter. He had produced, there you have a Sigrin Jara, Aglafinger. Then you have, this is the son. And from this, Pacros de Urmental. And Pacros produced Vegas, and all these children now from Vegas. It's alternate one line which is prevailing nowadays. So this is a very strong female. This is a very strong female, Flora Konisburg, and which produced very good. And her line still continues, and through her children, and she was anatomically and produce ability ahead of her time. She was for her time very famous. Then this comes Ulmedi Valdomin. So then Sima de la Valcubia, Una de la Valcubia. From Una we got, this comes to Dux Valcubia lines. Then you have this Kondo Arminius. He grabbed Odin and Isoban Bragmansep and other many males. But this PPTs two are there. But from Odin we got so many dogs. Then Kanto Vinarao was from the three pillars of the breed. Kanto Vinarao, and Moose Pleasure Farm. So Kanto himself was a little, medium-sized dog with little loose hinds, soft back, short group, normal head. But his father, Heinz Kunspuk, was a G-rated dog, as a normal dog. But you see, this is the difference. Sometimes top dogs they never produced, but Kanto, through his progeny, is dominating the world. And today, what bloodlines we see comes from him and Kanto Vinaro. And this is Moj Pleasure Farm. We talked about this dog. Through this line, we have many dogs. We had Pandas Rudbik, then Salarama Rao, then we have, which I told you, Hills Pavenspill, Hannibal Stigler Hub. Now we have Remo line, Remo Pissenslack through his line. This is, we talked about long harsh coat with undercoat. So people have a view that how this is a long hair VA dog. So you can say how a long with harsh coat anatomy should look like. And we discussed earlier different colors. You know, the people are asking why this different colors. So you can see this is a black one, this is a bicolor one. So all colors, they look nice. It is adaptability amongst the breeders and people, what they like and what they want to accept.
Personal preference, as you said.
So this is a sable. The sable colors are different variations. Iron sable, or we call dark sable. That is a normal sable. Grey sable, silver sable. They call it different names, but it's sable. So they also look nice. And most of the working dogs, they have that. When Stephanie started breeding, and he used to prefer this colors, wolf colors.
Okay.
And this is the picture of a overburn bad ball, which is black and tan dog. Who is the dog which is to like very much for his farmness and production ability over bad ball. You see, he's very normal dog in construction, very clean, very good head and very good clear in head and temperament. This is black and tan. We call this color comes in different variances: black and gold, black and tan, black and red. This is color. Next, anything is there. These people influence the world. One is Herman Martin of Arminius, other was Dr. Rommel before him. So from them, you can say the German Shepherd, the popularity of the German Shepherd started. Before that, it was a very strong working dog. Everybody knew, but world over, because of these two people, these dogs become very famous and popular around the people. People started breeding, keeping them. So we must give tribute to them.
Very true, sir.
So thank you.
And, in this session, we would like to pay tribute to you, sir, because I think it was a very informative 1.5 hour session. And I'm very sure a lot of German Shepherd enthusiasts in the country would have a huge takeaway today from your session.
I hope, but I didn't see any questions. I had told earlier to you that any questions anybody asks, I am ready to answer. I have no problems. So, but I wish all the viewers and people who watched this a big thank you to all. And whatever I know, it is my experience. Nobody is perfect. Whatever I have gained through all the years, whatever I felt, I shared with you. And I learn now. Now also I learn from youngsters. I not learn from everybody. Till the time we die, we must learn, because learning never stops. It's a process. At the same time, it's wonderful talking to you people. And I wish you all safe. At the same time, through you, I am giving message to all the canine lovers and exhibitors that stay safe. This is a difficult time, and we'll come out of it. Thank you. Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Thank you, dear viewers. We will again come back next week with an interesting session. As Sir had mentioned, please stay safe, stay home as much as possible, and let us come over the tough times. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.